Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here and I really do appreciate your time. I'm going to be reacting to the clip that's going viral of Cam Newton, and Cam Newton is sitting in like a podcast interview style talking with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. So first I'm going to play the clip of them talking and then I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
A lot of people see my situation and not think that I'm not high functioning.
What situation?
See my situation? That's a very vague question, and it's for you
What
to
situation are you referring to that they're looking at and thinking is not high function?
Just my life.
Your life entirely, or your life in relationships?
My life.
See, don't deflect. Let's stay here. Your life entirely, or your life in relationships?
Both, really.
And they think that you're low functioning.
No, I don't.
You just said people see your life and think you're not high functioning. The opposite of that would be low functioning.
No. Okay, so here you go. You're trying to take my intentions away from this. Can I correct it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or can I give you more?
Yeah, some more information. Heck yeah.
So, I'm not married, right? I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8. Okay.
No, baby.
Cool.
It's
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more. Now,
By multiple women? What's the intent?
I
I'm
just
saying,
want
or
God
by
to
your
bring
wife?
him. I just want God to bring him.
Oh, okay. And you have, so you just.
Because
bring him,
my
okay.
point is this. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So, as you would say it, Dr. Bryant, you said it, I didn't say it, I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
You're not taking your time.
I am, though.
You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time. You're being very action-based.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active. Okay? So you're creating, and disclaimer, the kids are innocent. They are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies, because I can't wait to be a mom, and I love the kids, period. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you thus far. But these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. So at what point do you feel the fear, do it anyways? And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior. To say that I am going to create these homes. Oh, let me go better. I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody who you're spending your life with. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and it's selfish.
Just tell me when I can solve.
Yeah, almost. That's completely unfair and that's selfish. And so, yes, you're taking your time in this department, but you're not taking your time in this department, which means you're compartmentalizing. And compartmentalizing never works. Compartmentalizing hurts everybody involved. Everybody who's in this box and that box and this box and that box and this box. And then here you go over here trying to figure out what box you're going to feed or entertain or do. Then you're looking outside to figure out who's your next victim to put in the box. It's unhealthy. And it's a huge dysfunction within our Black community that I truly believe personally, statistically, mental health-wise, and community-wise, that Black men would stop.
Black men will what?
Stop doing that, that they would stop that dysfunctional behavior of compartmentalizing and creating houses, not homes, and then finally a home with the wife. And then you have all these other houses that are homeless, but you over here at some point when you do get a wife, if you do, I'm saying if that's what you want, you will, you'll get whatever you want. You're trying to create a home. Totally dysfunctional and extremely, that's the epitome of selfish. Epitome of selfish.
Okay, so basically, how I feel about Cam Newton and men who are doing what Cam Newton is doing, because it's not just Cam Newton and Nick Cannon. There's a lot of unknown celebrity males who do the same exact thing. They run around having a bunch of kids with different women. Marriage doesn't even seem to be something that they're interested in. Yet for some strange reason, they want to have kids. I understand that marriage is no longer attractive in this society that we live in, right? Like, I understand that for most people, being married in general is not attractive to men or women because the reasons that people typically used to marry are no longer really applicable to the society, right? So women don't really need men for money and financial support. Women are finding ways to provide for themselves, take care of themselves. Fine. Men no longer feel that women offer the same feminine and nurturing qualities that used to be something that men could look forward to from their wives. Most men don't even think that women are marriage material themselves. Okay, we got that. So I understand for most people, marriage is not even on the cards, or rather on the table to be discussed. And for me, I think that's best. I personally think most people don't need to get married because they don't have the character infrastructure built within that would make them good partners long term. I think most people are dysfunctional, overwhelmed with trauma, and most of their decision making is influenced by their trauma without even realizing it. All they're going to do is go on and create more brokenness, raise the divorce rate, that situation. So I think most people shouldn't get married. However, at the same time, what I also think people should participate in is stop procreating, stop having children, because you can say marriage is outdated. Why should I get married when I can just, float around and date forever? And that's fine. But stop having kids. See, what men like Cam Newton and Nick Cannon and other men who participate in this don't understand is, although you may want children and having a high from having a new child and sleeping with a new woman raw is enjoyable for you and you enjoy the experience until the child is typically born, you're not thinking about how your absence from those children's lives will affect them. And that's ultimately why sleeping around is a bad thing to do, because even if you are in a financial position where you can support all of these children and make sure each of their mothers have what they need, the reality is at the same time, there's no way you can be in each of those children's households individually and make sure that you are being present and giving those children the emotional investment and the guidance and the parenting that they need. And I think that's what people completely miss, men and women, when they are having children. Like, while Cam Newton is definitely giving off like weird breeder kink energy, I had to look at all of his baby moms with a side eye as well, because why would you have children with somebody that you know is only going to be able to provide you with a check? And I think sometimes women also arrogantly think that, oh, my child is fine, my child financially has whatever they need, and I don't care if they don't have a dad. No, like, that's not. See, once upon a time, people were having children and single parent broken households are being created out of, unfortunate circumstances, by accident, people not having as much education as they needed concerning reproductive health. And people were kind of finding themselves in these situations and then trying to make do with the fact that the child is already here. Now you have people fully aware, eyes fully open, walking into these situations completely aware, knowing that they're going to be a single mom, or knowing that they're going to be in a position where they don't have the ability to be living with their children because they're having children with women who they don't even have commitment or any type of relationship with. And I think that to me makes absolutely no sense. Like, I don't understand why people are deciding to have children in these circumstances. I really don't get it. Like, it's kind of like what Glorilla said about if you're a woman and you have a man and he tells you he doesn't want to have a kid with you, then that means, you should do what needs to be done. Or even before you get to that, because that's how I feel. Like, for whatever reason, it seems like women nowadays act like birth control is not a real thing, or not something that they can have access to. You can have a birth control subscription without having health insurance. You can get good, high rate efficiency birth control without having a gynecologist or having health insurance. And there's so many different versions of birth control. If one does not, agree with you hormonally, there's so many different iterations. There's non-generic, generic, like there's so many different formulations of birth control for you as a woman to experiment with, to make sure that you're not stuck with a baby on your own, or that you're not in a situation where you're forced to have, an abortion because you have had a child with someone who y'all weren't even like doing nothing with in particular. And see, what I don't understand about what women do nowadays is women will know that they're in a casual sexual relationship with someone. Now, I don't even suggest you do this, but that's what people are doing nowadays. I'm a bit old fashioned in that respect. But if you are in a casual sexual relationship with a guy, that's how you know you shouldn't get pregnant. If you are in a situation where y'all are messing with each other, or it's like a sneaky link situation, that's a sign that you should not get pregnant. If you are in any sort of situation where there is no kind of commitment, number one. Number two, when you really stop and think about the character of the guy and how he behaves, how is he in a good financial situation? Is his life stable? Is he emotionally available? When you start taking into account all of those things, and you most likely will realize, I shouldn't be having a kid with this person. Now, I would say if someone has all of these shortcomings and issues, I don't even think you should be having sex with them, let alone raw sex. But I know people are not intelligent enough to not make that decision. So, if you are going to engage with men that most likely will not be there to take care of the kid or will help you raise the kid, that's those type of men you should not be sleeping with. Those are the type of men you should not be having raw sex with. And that's just really the bottom line. Like, as women, we have too many options and too many ways to ensure that we are not left in a situation where most of the responsibility financially, emotionally, parenting wise falls on us. Because why would you want to be in a situation where you're miserable raising a child that you had with a man who wasn't even serious about you? I don't understand why women choose to put themselves in situations where they're going to be left with all of their responsibility, because that's how our species is. We are a sexually dimorphic species. Our bodies have different functions. So unfortunately, men can shoot this way and shoot that way, but as the woman, you have the womb. You're going to be carrying the child. And most likely, most of the responsibilities will follow with that. So it's all on you. So I don't understand why, as a woman, if you live in the 21st century where there's so many options, why would you choose to get pregnant in unideal situations or in less ideal situations? I don't understand. Raising a kid is hard. Being a mommy is hard. It's expensive. That's why I think most people shouldn't even try to have kids, because it requires too much. It takes too much. So I think that people need to start being much more intelligent and selective about who they're having sex with and who they're in turn having kids with, because this is how my mom raised me, and I'm so glad that she gave me this knowledge early on when I was a teenager. Whoever you choose to sleep with raw, you're picking to be the parent of your child. When people start really looking at sex in that aspect and stop thinking of it as just a few moments of enjoyable sex, and they realize that raw sex equals this person could be in my life for the rest of my life because we're going to have a child together. If people start really understanding that that's where humans come from, that that's where people and society is built off of the children who come from one night stands and the children who come from dysfunctional casual sexual relationships, when people start really thinking about like connecting the dots and thinking like, okay, I don't have the best life right now. I can barely take care of myself. The guy I'm sleeping with doesn't have the best life right now. He can barely take care of himself. We shouldn't have kids. Or in the celebrity case concerning Jaleesa and Cam Newton, this man already has 8 children. Aside from however rich I believe or think he is, that's a lot of money already, right? That he's putting out. I don't want to have a kid, and my kid now has to be, or rather, he has 7 kids, and my kid is now the 8th kid, and now I have to hope that he has enough. What? Like, or just on holidays. Oh, I wonder whose house he's going to stop at first, or whose house he's going to be with this time, or who. See, for me, that is insane. I would never, ever put myself in that situation. I would never. I would never. Because at the end of the day, you are setting up you and your children behind the 8 ball. Like, you are putting you and your children in a position where it's already going to be difficult, and now you're putting yourself in a situation where it's going to be even more difficult because now y'all are in a situation where, yeah, like, you are going to be lacking. Your child's going to be lacking. And if the father is not in the home, I don't get it. I could talk about this till I'm blue in the face, but the reality is most people refuse to just be accountable. They just refuse to be accountable for their own bodies and their own choices, and they either have rather have abortion or let their children grow up at a disadvantage and be delusional about it, which to me doesn't make any sense. I would never choose that for myself as a woman. Never. I would never, ever, ever choose to be a single mom on purpose. I would never choose to have sex with somebody that I know would not be a good father to my child. And this whole idea of, oh, he was this, that, and the third, and as soon as I got pregnant, he changed. That's a lie. That's a lie. That is not true, and I wish people would stop saying it. It's not true. People be knowing how ain't shit somebody is before they lay down with them. So if you know somebody ain't shit, don't give them your womb. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's not. You can just make a choice every time to not do it. But yes, that's all I have to say on this topic. Please get below. Tell me how you feel concerning this situation, this whole baby mama culture. All of this nonsense. All of these men running around having babies for no reason. Other than just because they're selfish. Let me know how you feel. Don't forget to give my video a thumbs up and subscribe. And turn on your post notifications so you know when I'm posting a video. Alright? Thank you so much. Take care.